today's lesson on integers is subtracting integers. Last class we looked at addition of integers, but it's important to add integers because whenever we subtract integers, we have to use this rule, which is to subtract integers, we are going to add the opposite. So we go back to using our rules for addition when we're working with subtracting integers. So let's take a look at these examples here. Our first example we have is positive 4 minus positive 3. All right, so the rule says we have to add the opposite. So the first integer stays the same. So first integer stays as positive 4. We're going to change our subtraction to addition, and the positive 3 becomes a negative 3. Okay, so all we've done is add the opposite. That's what that rule means. So let's just go back and re-say that rule out loud. To subtract integers, we add the opposite. All right, so you change it to addition, and the second integer, you take its opposite. All right, so this becomes positive 4 plus negative 3, which is the same thing as 4 minus 3. That's correct. And our answer is just positive 1. Positive 1, or if you just write 1, would be correct. All right, so let's try the second one. So here we have negative 6. The first integer stays the same. We're going to add the opposite, so it's going to become plus negative 4. All right, so we have negative 6 plus negative 4. So reviewing our rules of addition, we have the same sign. We have negative and negative, so we're going to add and keep the same sign. So that becomes negative 10. Good. All right, so here we have a positive 4 minus negative 5. So remember, you're going to add the opposite. Okay, so it wouldn't be negative 1. We're going to take positive 4. We're going to add the opposite. The opposite of negative 5 is positive 5. So you're just taking positive 4 plus positive 5, which becomes positive 9. All right, so if we had a positive 5, the opposite of positive 5 would be negative 5. If we had a negative 6, the opposite of negative 6 would be a positive 6. All right, so when it says to add the opposite, that's what it means. That's what opposite means. All right, if we try another one, if we had positive 7, the opposite of positive, it's not looking like a positive. If we had a positive 7, the opposite of positive 7 would be negative 7, and so on. Okay, so resuming the recording here, and we're looking at our example here. So here we have a negative 8. So the negative 8 stays the same. It's going to stay the negative 8. But we have to add the opposite. So the minus sign becomes a plus. We're adding. And the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. All right, so now we're just using our addition rules, which is when you have a sign that is different, we have a negative and we have a positive, we're going to subtract, and then we're going to take the symbol or the sign of the numerically larger number. All right, so here we're going to subtract 8 and 3, which is 5, and 8 is numerically larger number, so it becomes a negative 5. Okay, so just going over the first one here, keep your first integer the same. That's going to stay as positive 14. Now we're going to add the opposite. So we're going to add the opposite, which is negative 3. All right, so now we subtract because 14 and 3 have different signs. 14 is positive, 3 is negative. So remember our addition rules. We're going to subtract. So 14 minus 3 gives us 11. All right, and you look at which number numerically has which number is numerically larger. It is the 14, so it'd be positive 11. All right, question number 2. You guys can go ahead and try number 2. All right, so question number 2, we have negative 6 minus positive 8. So negative 6 stays the same. Okay, minus here becomes addition, and the positive 8 becomes negative 8. All right, so we are adding the opposite. So now we have negative 6 plus negative 8. So we're adding, and we keep the symbol the same. We keep the sign the same, which is negative, and then 6 plus 8 is 14. So your answer is negative 14. All right, let's move on to question 4. Some of you have already done it, so I'll give you guys like a minute to try that one. Okay, question number 3. We have a positive 4. That's our first integer. It stays the same, so it's going to stay as positive 4. Our subtraction becomes an addition. And then the negative 9, we take the opposite of negative 9, which is positive 9. All right, so now all we have to do is add 4 plus 9, which is 13, and our sign stays as positive. I'll just put in positive 13. So our last question here, we have negative 7 minus negative 3. So we keep our first integer the same. Now we're going to add the opposite. So add, and the opposite of negative 3 is positive 3. All right, so we have negative 7 plus positive 3. So we're going to subtract using our addition rules. And our numerically larger number is 7, so it becomes negative 4. All right, so we subtracted 7 and 3, and we take our sign of our numerically larger number, so it's a negative 4. All right, so here we're looking at the difference in the two temperatures. So difference always means subtraction. So we're going to take our positive 28 degrees Celsius and subtract it from the negative 25 degrees Celsius. All right, so that becomes positive 28, and we're going to add the opposite. So we're going to add a positive 25. All right, and then 28 plus 25 is 53. So the difference in temperature is 53 degrees Celsius. All right, so for this question, if the temperature in Las Vegas, Nevada is positive 29 degrees Celsius, and at the same time, the temperature in Whitehorse, Yukon is negative 27 degrees Celsius, what is the difference in the temperatures, right? So difference means subtraction. So we're going to take our positive 29, and we're going to subtract it from the negative 27. All right, and now we add the opposite. So it becomes positive 29 plus positive 27. All right, so you're just adding the two now is what it becomes because it was subtracting a negative. All right, once you add the two, 29 plus 27, that gives you 56 degrees Celsius. So that's the difference in the two temperatures. There's a difference of 56 degrees. So here is the homework. For Math 7, it's 3.3, just Part A, odds. And then Math 8, it's 4.3, just Part A, odds. All right, if you do need more practice, you can continue doing more practice. There's a Part B, or you can do the evens as well.